Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. I wanted to do a video about my AEON laser, my Mira 9 laser. I went to the doctor's today. I got such a great doctor, and her staff is awesome. So when I got home, I said to myself, I want to make them something nice that they can put in their reception area on the desk or something. So I wanted to make them a little sign. The name of their doctor's office is Commerce Primary Care. And so when I got home, I just started designing something, and here we are. So I just love my AEON Mira 9 laser. It's phenomenal. I had an Tech a couple years ago. I had a DX1 by X tool before that. That's what got me into laser engraving and cutting. And hands down, out of those three, the Mira 9 is just leaps and bounds beyond, well, especially the X tool, but leaps and bounds even beyond the Tech. The Tech was cool and it served its purpose for a couple years. But the Mira 9 is self-contained, so I don't have to deal with separate water cooling, and the built-in fan on this thing is pretty darn good. I do have an external exhaust, but the built-in fan on this, I use it all the time. I do not have air assist, aftermarket air assist. I think the air is plenty good enough on this machine. And again, leaps and bounds beyond the Tech, and of course the X tool. Now I've never used the new X tool, that desktop model, whether it's a good machine or not. I'm sure it is. I did get this one when I ordered the Mira 9 a year ago. I asked for the camera, and that helps line things up too. But yeah, anyway, so you can see how awesome it cuts. I'm doing actually 3 pieces of 1/8 inch birch. I'm going to do the top, the middle, and the back, and you'll understand it all here in a little bit when you see it come together. But yeah, it just cuts phenomenally. It doesn't leave any burnt brown marks around past the edges. You know, I'm very happy with this laser, and it's been serving me well for over a year now, as of the time of this video. So after I cut this birch, I had to cut some acrylic. So I went to my acrylic bin. I found a piece of scrap from a previous job, and I just needed to cut out the shape that I needed, because I'm going to print using my UV printer. I have a Muto 661 UF UV printer, flatbed printer, and that's going to put the color down on this clear acrylic for me. Actually, this is frost acrylic that I'm using, and I like that because it really picks up the light, the LED lights that I'm going to be installing in the sign later on the video as well. But as you can see, just cuts it like butter. My settings for both the birch and the acrylic are 10 for my speed and 35 for my power. I don't like using a lot of power. There's no reason for it. I'm not in any hurry. Nobody's going to see that edge. You can see it. If I had a little more air, maybe air assist, it wouldn't leave those little marks, but I'm not worried about it because nobody's going to see them. So unfortunately, I didn't record. I did so many mistakes during this video, you guys. I didn't record gluing everything together. I forgot to sand everything before I glued it together, and I forgot to paint everything before I glued it together, or stain everything. So today is backwards day for me, I guess. So there you can see I glued the 1/8 inch birch down to the back plate. And again, I'm sorry I didn't videotape any of that, but I just used a couple drops here and there of super glue, and then I glued the acrylic piece that I printed on already to the back of the front. And I don't know why I did that, because I knew I had to stain it still. Anywho, whatever. I don't know. I'm just having a backwards day. Like I said, I was at the doctor's today. I'm not feeling good. I think I have a cold or something. You can hear it in my voice, my throat, my nasal passages. Today was the eclipse. I got to watch the eclipse using those special glasses with my family, and that was cool. Here I'm installing these nifty LED lights that I purchased from a company, I believe they're in China, and I'll leave the link. I bought several rolls of these. I've been using this company now for a year, and the reason I got these rather than get them on Amazon is because they're only eighth of an inch tall, or less than eighth of an inch tall. Because you can see how I'm just gluing or sticking it to that birch, that center plate that I made out of birch, and that birch is 1/8 inch. Well, these are just a hair under 1/8 inch, so they're perfect for interior lighting of signs or any other thing you need to light up from the inside or downlight, because they're super tiny but they're super bright and they work off 5 volts. Again, I'll leave the link down below for you guys if you're interested. I believe it was like $12 for a 40-foot roll, or not 40-foot, 20-foot roll. And I bought 4 rolls, and I think this is my second roll that I've used this year so far. So I might have to order some more. Anyway, so I just went around the edge, the interior edge of that 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch birch that I glued, that middle piece, to give me the space I need to put the top on, which you'll see in a minute. But if you don't know about LED lights, every so often you'll see these 2 copper bars in between the LED lights, like every 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch or inch, depending on which lights you get. And those 2 or 3 or 4 little copper bars is where you have to solder your wire to in order for them to light up. So kind of like a kit you could buy from Amazon, I believe. But the ones you get from Amazon either clip on, or I don't think they are, or plug in. These are so small, you actually have to solder them. There's no plug and play on these. So there I'm showing you the wire. Bought a bunch of these too, because I use them all the time in all my little signs and gifts that I make and sell on my website. And I think I'm plugging it in right there. I have a little USB outlet down there. And because I always forget if it's the red or the red and the black wire goes on the left or the right, because if you wire them backwards, the LEDs won't turn on. So you, and there, oh, that's right. This is a 3-wire one, and I cut the white wire because we're not using that on this particular job, because this is just white LEDs. The white wire is for if you're going to have like LEDs, colored strips, you know. Anyway, so like I told you, you got to solder to those 2 little pads that are every inch or 1/2 an inch. When you get LEDs, you'll see these little pads where you can cut it. You can cut the LED pretty much to the length that you want, and then solder to these pads. So here I'm soldering, and again, these are really, really tiny. So I have a very fine tip. It's almost comes to a needle point because these pads are so small, and so are the wires, which off camera I pre-soldered those wires, so they had solder on them already. And now I'm just heating them up really quick, and but I'm having a hard time because they're so small, and I'm blind as a bat, and my fat fingers too. I'm a big guy, and my fat fingers. There we go. Ta-da! My fat fingers always get in the way. Anywho, so I think right here I'm going to pull the wire and it's going to break off. Yep. So the red wire came off and I had to resolder it down. And then also off camera, after I solder this down, I have a hot glue gun, Ryobi hot glue gun there in the back of the top of the video that's heating up, that I'm going to drop some hot glue on all this so that it will not come unsoldered in the future. If somebody tugs on that cord, I also put a little solder in the hole, or not solder, hot glue in the hole so that nobody can pull the cord through. Excuse me. And yeah, ta-da, everything works. Okay, great. So after I did all that, I wanted to flip this over, and like I said, I'm doing backwards day to day. I had already glued the acrylic piece that I printed on to the inside of the lid. So, and I don't know why I did that, because I knew I wanted to stain this a color. I wanted to stain it black, because the doctor's office is like blue with black countertops, and I thought this would match really cool if I did it in black. So right now I'm just checking the fitment, making sure that I can glue it all together when I'm done, and that's when I realized, oh crap, I forgot to stain this. So, and I forgot to sand everything. So here I am sanding, which I should have done first. So here's the steps when you're laser engraving or cutting wood anyways. You laser cut, then you sand, then you stain or paint. And I just did everything backwards. Again, I'm sick. I apologize. I guess that's why I'm doing everything backwards. I don't know, but it worked out okay, because that birch is 1/8 inch thick, and my acrylic is on the back side, already glued up. So after sanding it, I'm going to stain it here, and you'll see that it turned out just fine. So this stain that I'm using is a oil-based stain, and it's an ebony. It's black, and it's actually my first time using it. I've used the gray before. This is the line of stain found at Home Depot, big box stores, and it's for wood, and it looks like it's going to come out great. The problem is I didn't know that this stain would take forever to dry, and right now I'm just trying to be super careful not to get it on the acrylic inside. But again, the wood is an 1/8 inch away from the acrylic, so I'm just going very lightly on the wood and making sure that I don't get any extra down the sides in the letters or anything like that. But this stain got everywhere. It got on my hands. What a mess. I don't know why I'm having a backwards day. But so I just very lightly stained. As you can see, I'm trying to be as delicate as I can, and it just yeah, I'm just having a backwards day. I don't know why. Anywho, after I stained it, it took forever to dry. So I had to wait, I think it was 4 hours, 5 hours for it to soak into the wood, and it still hadn't soaked in all the way. Excuse me. So I had to wipe some off, actually, and then it finally dried. I just either put too much on, or the wood just wasn't absorbing it. So here you see me clamping it down after gluing it, which again, I don't know why, but I didn't really videotape the gluing, but I used that super glue again, and I just went around the edge, and then I used a piece of wood that becomes the base of this sign, and I used that wood to hold everything down, nice even pressure, because we don't want any light escaping around the edges. And after about, I don't know, 10 minutes, it was dry, and then I started sanding, and I kept sanding and sanding and sanding. I just was sanding this edge, and again, I'm doing everything backwards, but the reason I'm sanding the edge is because the glue had squeezed out, and glue is shiny, super glue is shiny, and I'm going with a matte finish or a matte look. Plus I wanted the wood be even, and a third reason is because when you laser cut birch, especially, you get a char around the edge, like a charcoal, and it gets on everything and everybody, and you don't want to give your customer or your friends a gift that's going to make their hands black. So you really got to sand the edges and make sure that they're even and dry and that no light's escaping. And then you're left with bare wood. So again, I'm doing things backwards. I don't know why, but I decided to mount the sign to the wooden base first, and this way it would be secure for me to stain those edges, and I could just let it dry for as long as it needed to dry. So again, I'm using that super glue, which is great stuff, and this time I'm going to use that, I don't know what it's called, it's like a quick set, where after you put super glue on one piece, and then you spray that can of Quickset on the other piece, and then when they make contact, because that Quickset, I'm calling it Quickset, that's not what it is, I can't remember what it's called, but when the two make contact, the super glue dries instantly. So there's no like 2 second or 5 second delay. It's when you set this thing down, it's done. So there, I set it down, and bam, you can see it. I don't know if you can see that if it came across on the camera. It's stuck. It's done. It's completely workable and usable. It's done. It's not going to budge now. So I'm kind of glad I even though I was doing things backwards, I'm glad that I sanded the edges and stuck it to the sign, because now I'm going to stain the edges. And this is that stain, that ebony stain. You can see the name there. I got it at Home Depot. It's black stain, and it just, I don't know if it must be the wood, because it's just not drying. It doesn't seem like it's soaking in very good on the face of the wood. But when I put it on the sides here, it soaked that stuff right up. So it dried pretty darn quick. So anyways, I'm just going to apply one coat is all you need of this black ebony stain. I'm pretty sure it's an oil-based stain, and it's going to be done. It's completely done. So again, I don't know what's wrong with me. Again, other than I just feel under the weather. My throat kind of hurts. I've got sinuses happening, and I don't know what's going on. So I did everything backwards, but it turned out pretty darn good, I think. And I hope you enjoyed this mixed up video. And I'd like to hear your comments down below, and what you think I did wrong, and what you could do better. And if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. I got a lot more coming out talking about not only lasers, but fiber lasers, CNC, and UV printing, and so much more. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.